Great Britain is not only the birthplace of gentlemen and ancient monarchy, but also a country of absolutely unique legal paranoia. Local laws were written over centuries, and the main rule here is never to repeal anything, even if it lost its meaning long ago. Today, you can break the law just by walking down the street with a piece of wood or awkwardly greeting a fish. We have collected the most absurd British survival rules that are relevant even today. Get ready for some pure legal surrealism. Illegal salmon. The legislation of most modern countries focuses on serious threats to society. But in England, there is an official act from 1986 that strictly prohibits a highly specific and bizarre way of handling fish in public places. The law states that it is categorically illegal to handle salmon under suspicious circumstances. It sounds like the premise of an absurd detective story. If you walk down the street nervously looking around while clutching a fresh fish, you will have problems. Historically, this law was aimed against unregulated sellers, who distributed catches through the back doors of pubs. But since the wording remained as vague as possible, absolutely any person holding a fish can become the target of strict questioning. So, if you decide to buy fresh seafood at the local market, do not try to hide it under your coat, and definitely avoid making eye contact with patrolmen. In this country, even an ordinary dinner can easily turn into a legal survival quest. The TV police. All over the world, you just buy a TV and watch your favorite shows. In Britain, having a working screen turns you into a potential rule breaker. A unique television tax exists here, and failure to pay it threatens you with significant monetary fines. To legally watch live broadcasts in your own home, you are required to buy a special license. If you fail to do this, inspectors may arrive in vans equipped with specialized gear to detect working screens right through the walls of your house. This sounds like a classic dystopian novel. People are genuinely afraid to open the door to strangers if their TV license is unpaid. The system is built on the presumption of guilt. If you own a monitor, it means you already owe the government money. Even if you use your television strictly for video games, you will have to explain yourself to the inspectors for a long time. This rule teaches Britons the main law of survival. The state always knows what you watch, and it will surely bill you. The plank ban. Imagine, you are doing renovations and bought materials at a hardware store around the corner. In any other metropolis, you would just carry them home. In London, your walk with building materials can end in an official fine. According to the Metropolitan Police Act, you are categorically forbidden to carry an ordinary wooden plank, ladder, or pole along the pavement. This ancient law was invented in the 19th century so that porters wouldn't accidentally injure pedestrians. The most striking thing is that in the era of electric scooters and drones, no one has repealed this law. A policeman has every right to stop you and write a ticket if you decide to carry a piece of plywood along the pedestrian zone of the capital. This rule creates a unique bureaucratic trap. If you want to renovate, order a delivery truck even for a single plank. London laws teach us that the pedestrian zone is a place exclusively for gentlemen in suits, not for working people holding tools. Drunk in a pub. The British pub is a truly sacred place, the foundation of local culture and a center of social life. People come here after work to relieve stress and drink a pint of ale. But it is exactly here that the country's most absurd legal trap is hidden. According to an 1872 law, you are officially prohibited from being in a visibly overserved state inside a licensed establishment. Yes, you cannot be highly inebriated in a pub, even though that is exactly why many people visit. If the bartender notices you are too cheerful or unsteady on your feet, the law obliges him to immediately stop serving and politely ask you to leave. Attempting to buy alcohol for an already inebriated friend will also result in a hefty financial penalty. This specific law turns every single Friday night into an intense acting exam. You must enjoy your evening, but at the same time, maintain the face of a perfect British aristocrat. Lose control of your facial expressions, and the evening ends prematurely with official intervention. The sacred queue. There are laws written on paper, and then there are rules carved into the nation's subconscious. The British queue is not just a crowd of people waiting for a bus. It is a highly complex social structure with strict rules and an invisible hierarchy. While in most countries people simply crowd around the entrance, here they automatically form a perfectly geometric line. Attempting to cut in line is not just ordinary rudeness. It is considered a major social misstep against the entire society. You won't be arrested, but the consequences will be worse. You will face the most terrifying British weapon, loud and disapproving tongue-clicking. You will be met with stern glares, instantly becoming the main villain checked to dozens of polite people. This unspoken law teaches the main survival rule in England: patience is the ultimate virtue. Even if you are running late for the meeting of your entire life, you must stand at the back of the line. Chaos begins where the British queue totally ends. Doorbell crime. We all played mischievous pranksters in our childhood. Running up to someone else's door, pressing the bell, and hiding around the corner with a laugh is classic schoolboy fun worldwide. But in British jurisdiction, this game is stripped of any romance. According to a 19th century Town Police Act, deliberately disturbing residents by ringing a doorbell or knocking without a valid reason is an official offense. Your simple childish prank is actually classified as a fully documented rule violation. If the unlucky runner is caught, the law allows the application of very real sanctions, up to strict legal fines. The police rarely apply this article to children, but legally, this powerful lever of pressure is always highly active. This rule perfectly demonstrates the British people's reverent attitude toward personal space. My home is my castle, and any unauthorized knock on the door is seen as a siege. If you want to play a joke, it is better to just write an anonymous comment. Carpet curfew. If you decide to beat the dust out of your house, you're not alone. Many people find themselves in a similar situation, and it's a common challenge that can be overcome with the right approach. If you decide to beat the dust out of your favorite rug on a London street eve, you had better watch the clock. There is a strict rule. It is categorically forbidden to shake out any carpets, mats, or rugs on the sidewalks and in public areas of the capital. But this highly unusual law actually contains one tiny loophole specifically for entrance doormats. You have every right to beat a doormat, but strictly before 8 in the morning. If you do it at 8:01, you officially break the law. This rule was created waiting so that gentlemen on their way to work would not soil their expensive suits with dust. Today this sounds completely absurd, but the law has not been repealed. Life in Britain is a constant navigation between weird 19th century bans. If you want perfect cleanliness, buy a powerful vacuum cleaner to avoid teasing patrols on the street. Great Britain is an amazing place, here where progress and technology peacefully coexist with laws that should have disappeared 200 years ago. Survival here requires not only good manners, but also an encyclopedic knowledge of bizarre legal anomalies. If you're planning a trip to London, leave your wooden planks at home, and do not try to flirt with a salmon. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell. In the next video, we will break down British traditions that look even more absolutely surreal.